Every day, we can experience a full range of emotions, from joy to grief, peace, frustration, and everything in between.
But we're still expected to be an A player at work, be a good partner, to parent children, take care of our animals, and have food on the table, even in the throes of grief. So how the hell are we supposed to do it all?
On the Human Sessions podcast, we'll guide you through strategies for being your authentic self in every part of your life, no matter which emotions are in the driver's seat that day. We'll talk about how human design, energy, and Reiki can all be useful tools for showing up and showing up well.
And if we lost you at the word energy, I promise you will walk away from every episode with tactical tips to feel more like yourself.
I'm Rachel Walt, human energetics expert and Reiki master.
And I'm Val Morini, grief and trauma specialist and energy healer. This is a no bullshit zone.
This is an anti-perfectionism haven.
This is the Human Sessions podcast.
Hey everyone, it's Rachel. We're so glad you're here on our first official podcast taping. I am a human energetics expert, going to bring you the perspective of what more is going on here. So energy, emotions, feelings, dynamics, that type of perspective for the subjects we're going to be talking about.
I'm Val Morini. I am a grief and trauma specialist as well as an energy coach. And where Rachel and I work really well together is talking about not only her work on human design, but then translating that beyond just who we are and how we were made and what our purpose is, but how we handle the lived experiences, the universal experience of grief, our lived experiences of trauma, whether it's generational or in this lifetime, and how that shows up for us and how we can show up for ourselves in response.
That's right. You might have the feeling or sense that you have a meaning here, you have a purpose here, or you have a seeking to know more about that if you aren't, clear, don't have the clarity around that. And so the tools that I use, like human design, mindfulness, Reiki, help to get the clarity. It's the flashlight for your own unique path. And we're all so unique. And we want to find out that how we're designed is so special. And actually the things we're probably worried about or embarrassed about or shameful about are unique gifts that really get us ahead in this lifetime. And so the tools that I'm going to bring us are going to highlight that. And it sounds like, Val, you can kind of bring the impact for lived experience and the conditioning that all of these things give us that make it hard to find the authentic path.
Absolutely. And I think, when we really think about our entry point into this work, everyone's going to come at a different place. Mm-hmm. Rachel and I will both share our stories over time, how we arrived in this moment and kind of how that's helped us figure out where we want to go. But every entry point is different. So you may not be in the place where you're ready to begin with human design and look at that because you're deep in grief or you're trying to understand and figure out and perhaps dig out of your own trauma. We may start on that work. It's going to be talking about those live layers to understand how you're arriving in this moment, to understand some of the things that we can resource you with and some of the tools to just become grounded and help you regulate in your system so you are prepared and you can then move into the human design space and work through not only your personal, very individual characteristics and purpose and strengths and just opportunities, and then move back into how do we actually apply that. So we'll kind of come in and out of human design and also grief and trauma work and just really practical conversations about how to be not only a better human to other humans, which is a universal need that we all have, but also how to sometimes be a better human to ourselves and recognize our own humanity, our own purpose, whether that's in the individual or in the collective.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, that is the path that I have taken and that I'm most comfortable with. The magic of the design and the magic of life really comes from changing your world from your insides out. And human design really is the map, the roadmap, the blueprint for that. It serves as like a home base, a touchstone. It doesn't just, describe who you are to a T. It's guardrails, it's a guideline, it's a cozy grounding force that is there for you when you do feel lost and you do need some clarity, and maybe you are in grief or sadness or confusion in this, point of, places of that's not it. A liminal space. A liminal space. If you're in a liminal space, if there's been some disruption in your life, either from the outside that you didn't expect or want, or from the inside, feel motivated to transform in any way because what you're doing or how you're being is not feeling comfortable or cozy or authentic or in integrity to yourself, your human design blueprint can be a flashlight for you. It can be a cozy space for you.
I mean, I think it's such a great tool for when you're in grief or trauma or confusion. And it can be used really acutely, both, human design and, trauma resourcing, grief resourcing. But I would say also, like, I came to human design after I had been in the deep, dark spaces, after I had started to, like, claw my way out and create my routines and, like, reground and just recalibrate myself, but was still feeling a little bit lost. And I think even if you're kind of in a good space and you're moving forward and you're feeling productive and you're trying to remain aligned or be more aligned, human design is like that touch point of when you go out into the world and can sometimes lose yourself or lose your grounding of who you are and what is meaningful to you and what you want to be doing with your life and how you want your life to feel. It's a grounding place to remind you of who you are and, like, helping you block out the noise of the world. Mm-hmm. It is so important that we all understand our own unique gifts, what we're here for, how we can better work with and for others and ourselves. And I think it's really, to Rachel's point, that blueprint that can help you be like, oh, wait, no, this thing isn't for me. This is how I say no to the things that are not aligned to me in my life, whether it's relationships or choices, or just simply understanding and feeling your own energy when you're in an environment or at, like, a small choice of, like, down to, like, what does this moment really need? What do I need in this moment? And it can be so little. It can seem so seemingly small and unimportant, but all of those little things add up to the big thing. So it's an incredible tool. We're so excited to share a little bit more about the tool and go deep into the different aspects of how we use it, how you can use it, as well as just how we're showing up every day. So this is meant to be more of a just sharing of, like, our human experiences, welcoming in the human experiences of others, and sifting through the shit that's, like, sometimes hard to understand or to reground in.
Well, and we want to bring a sense of levity to hard topics, but not at all bypassing the emotional weight and the systemic and collective influences that influence a lot of the things we go through as humans. And we want you to be able to find this to be a cozy place, a safe place to explore these topics or come back to if you have questions or if you are in a space of transition or trauma or hurt or pain, that you know that people have your back and you're not alone.
No, 100%. If you're listening to this and these topics are very new to you and some of the language we're using seems a little bit disconnected from your knowledge, or just, like, I would just say fully honestly, like, super woo-woo, some of these words are things that we're just really used to repeating, but we will do our very best to make sure that we provide a little bit more of that plain context and that plain language for, like, what does this really mean? There is no winning at being human. There's no winning in energy or grief or trauma work. So you do not need to be an expert. You do not need to have this full vocabulary, any fluency in this. The whole purpose of what we're doing is to try and take some of this work that we've gone, like, down these deep, dark rabbit holes on and make it more accessible just generally.
And really bridge the gap between the lived experience and the personal development that we have a basic need to fulfill. I mean, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self-actualization is on there, but so is safety, so is food. And so we're trying to hit all the points on that hierarchy of needs and be your buddy in this life.
Yeah. No, it truly is a partnership. So thank you all for joining us. We're so excited to share this with you. And please subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel to help us grow not only our reach, but also the impact that we can have on the collective.
Thank you so much for listening to Human Sessions. If you loved this episode, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts so more people can join our Human Sessions. We'll see you in the next episode.